We had a question come into the lovely GIS question pile, also known as my email inbox. First question in a while. I'm using the remote desktop and I can't load raster data. Help. Well, I'm using the remote desktop here, and one of the things I want to be specific about, this is an Azure virtual desktop. This is set up by my organization, which you can see up here, University of Massachusetts Amherst. And one of the things with remote desktops or virtual desktops or whatever you want to call them, everyone uses different terminology based on their experience, is that they all have their own individual, shall we say, quirks? Shall we say, whatever we want to call it. They are individual and unique setups. So what we see here might not be the same thing you see on your virtual drive, but I've gotten this question enough now that I figured it was worth putting out there. Maybe it will help, but there could be a lot of other solutions. So lowering expectations from the start. In any case, I've got some data in here. My vector data has all cooperated fine, and my history of using remote desktops never had any issues with vector data. Rasters seem to be the problem. So I've got a couple different file types in here. I'm going to try this JP2 first. This is a campus photo. It looks like it loaded in there just fine. Let's zoom to that. Okay, we're happy. Looks good. Excellent. JP2 was the file type on that. Now I've got this Mount Holyoke raster. This is just a digital elevation model. We love a DEM, and it loads fine too. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Excellent. Super happy, super great. So you're saying, oh, well, this is a very useless video. Since everything worked for you, well, it didn't work for the person who emailed me. They tried to add Mount Holyoke and it said unsupported data type, failed to open raster dataset. Failed to open raster dataset. And then it said failed. Do you get the sense that this failed from this error message? Now, this is actually quite common in our use of our Azure Virtual Desktop with this specific data type, which is an Esri grid file. So format grid, this is kind of the default raster data file you'll generally encounter using Arc, Arc Pro, and old ArcMap. And I think the issue is that the virtual drives don't like that the grid files don't just show up with a file extension. Just name Mount Holyoke. If I went to the campus one here, campus.jp2, that's a file type. And what we've discovered, what we have found works, is that if you're in a virtual desktop environment and your grid doesn't load, like we saw in this message, that I was honestly very surprised I didn't get when I was simulating this, but we have found a really good workaround is to just use a different file type. So I just have this folder of TIFFs for people who are working in my classes. TIFFs are great. TIFFs load just fine. TIFFs are happy. So one thing you could do, if you are finding a certain file type doesn't work for you in a AVD environment, a virtual environment, is convert those files to a different raster file type. That's a solution I'm putting out there for you in the GIS universe. That's why I have folders of TIFFs for my virtual desktop users. I don't know why the grid is working for me right now. It's actually quite shocking, but give it a try. If your virtual desktop isn't liking your raster files, try a different raster format. Make sure to write in with more questions or post a comment. Have a good one.